When you cook for someone else, they suddenly see you in a totally different light. All of a sudden, you gain characteristics that your loved one may never have seen in you before. And there are 7 reasons that you get sexier when you cook for someone else. Today on the Carefree Cooks Code, I'm Chef Todd Moore, and this is the Carefree Cooks Code, every Tuesday live at noon Eastern. Here's our challenge. How can home cooks cook freely with creativity, confidence, and pride while ignoring recipes and still impressing themselves and others with what they cook? Well, the answer is found in becoming empowered with how cooking works, using dependable and repeatable methods of cooking that work for any ingredient, for any diet, and any desire, just like chefs do. And we'll know we've cracked it when everyone sees cooking as an exciting and rewarding way to improve their relationships, their lifestyles, and their health through better food and cooking. This is the Carefree Cooks Code. Hey, welcome back to the Carefree Cooks Code, everyone. This is the weekly show for the methods, the techniques, and insights into better food and cooking. We're, of course, live every Tuesday at noon Eastern, and if you missed any of the past videos, you can go right here, facebook.com/chef.todd.more/videos. Check out the schedule also. Tuesday is Carefree Cooks Code at noon, the first Wednesday of every month. Our private Carefree Cooks community, Thursdays at 6:30, Sundays at noon, and when we're not together, I am still cooking and I'm still eating, and you can see what I'm doing on Instagram as well. That was the second cream of broccoli soup, broccoli cheddar soup. The second soup we did in consecutive Saturdays in 2 different methods. You should check it out. One was gluten-free, and that's what you want to go see. Because who am I? Who are we? Why are we even here? Well, we're Carefree Cooks. We create our own recipes. We bring our friends and family together. We learn every time we cook instead of becoming more frustrated. I create my own cooking style, you should say to yourself, because you practice pro methods, you wind up loving your cooking, and I'm so excited once again because look, between me and you, it's the sexiest time of year for cooking. It's just 2 weeks away is the sexiest time of the year. Look, we've survived all of the rest of it, right? We survive the holiday dinners, the obligations to cook for other people. We survive New Year's. We, might or may not survive Super Bowl. Who knows? With the wings and the messy food and the nachos and the whole family is for holiday dinners. New Year's are louder celebrations. Super Bowl is really all hype. But when Valentine's Day comes, that's the time to take a deep breath, and it's where you can really show how much sexier you look when you're cooking. You get the idea? That's what we're going to talk about. But first, I've got a What Am I for you today. We have any chemistry majors out there? Sometimes you really don't even need to study to pass the test. You can just imagine the context of it all. So tell me in the comments section below, what am I today? Valentine's Day. Hint. Boy, thanks so much for showing up again on a Tuesday. I love doing the show. I love doing all the shows when we get together. And I get that love back. I want to thank you for that. I get dozens of really generous and kind emails every week, sometimes every day. And I really appreciate you taking the time to tell me just how much my unique approach to teaching cooking has helped you improve your lifestyle or your health. That's one of my goals. That's my mission. And I get comments all the time. These just testimonials about web cooking classes or just emails. I see them. I can't reply to every one of them, but I see them. And I get things like, hey, Chef Todd, our family eats together more often now. That's a great benefit of cooking at home. Hey, Chef Todd, after 40 years of my wife cooking for me, my partner cooking for me, I'm now cooking for her for the first time, right? Great use of developing a new hobby. And later in life, learning how to cook and helping out your partner or your spouse. I get Chef Todd. I love the fact that I can pass these skills on to my grandkids or my kids. Another fantastic benefit of learning how to cook. And then one time I got one that said, Chef Todd, your cooking classes got me laid last night. Okay, now, those are all true. Every one of them is true. Even the last one I got. And while cooking at home and while web cooking classes can help bring your family together, can help give you a new hobby, educate you, empower the next generation, I do not make any guarantees about getting lucky because of web cooking classes. That is not one of the guarantees I make, all right? But I do want you to know that cooking can make you sexier. Cooking, romance, love, they go together perfectly. Food is love, right? And the person that prepares the love is always worth more appreciation. I mean, don't you just love somebody who can cook? Think of a time in your life. Yes, you do. Your love was projected on the person that did the cooking in the house. And I know this answer is yes, if you're honest with yourself and you ask yourself, because I've heard the cooking stories of hundreds of thousands of home cooks all over the world. They tell me they love their moms. They remember the comfort food they showed her love with, right? Mom taught that the feeling of security that food brings, a warm meal. They love their grandmas who brought them into the kitchen when they were very young, who made them feel smart, right? Cooking makes a kid feel smart when the cookies come out just right, when they're warm and they taste great. Grandma taught you that pride of accomplishment. How could you not love her? For me, it was Grandpa. Milton Moore, my mother's father, who made, to me, cooking seem like a really cool puzzle to figure out. You know, not a chore, but exciting to figure out all the pieces. My grandpa Milton, he taught me problem-solving skills. And in my early development, that's love, right? Somebody that opens a door for you. And in adulthood, cooking is love. And that's why we all love someone who can cook. I brought it all the way around, right? So with Valentine's Day quickly approaching, it's the perfect opportunity to demonstrate your love through great food and cooking. And there are 7 very specific things that you demonstrate when you cook for someone else. You want to hear them? Because it's amazing how much better looking you get. No, I didn't say looking. That's not one of the ones. But these are characteristics that when you cook for someone else, it raises your status in their eyes, right? So, because when you cook for someone else, it first shows that you're very sensitive, right? This is a good thing. People admire this. You're sensitive to colors. You're sensitive to flavors and textures. You're sensitive enough to know the right foods, the favorite foods to use. You're sensitive enough to know how to cook for a specific diet. You demonstrate your sensitivity to the things that are important to the person that you're cooking for, right? It's also very sexy to be creative. People are attracted to those who can express themselves through art, through music, through literature, or in the kitchen. I don't know. If I could play guitar as well as I can cook, feel like I'd be a rock star. I don't know. I look at myself that way, okay? All right, I can't play guitar at all, and I don't write much poetry. But I can put exciting flavors and interesting foods together and show my creativity. You can show that artistic streak that you have through better food and cooking. It makes you look really creative. And when you're successful, the success of your cooking skills shows that you can bring a project and a presentation to fruition, right? It's really attractive to have somebody plan a menu. Coordinate the timing, print little menu cards maybe, execute it well, present a beautiful plate, set the table with the linens and the place settings, and you enjoy all this together. At the end, it's like, wow, that was a really successful meal. You know, pride comes with that as well. But you're sexy when you look like you can pull it off. You're sexy when you're successful. The next thing is being well-traveled or being worldly is very sexy. Even if you've never gotten on a plane, even if you've never gone anywhere in your life, traveled anywhere, you can still travel through food and cooking. I didn't mean to say you haven't gone anywhere in your life. You know what I'm meaning. You don't have to physically go to another location to be worldly in the kitchen. Because this is the place you can travel without going anywhere. You gather the ingredients from all over the world. Maybe you can speak articulately about why you chose them to put the meal together. Did you know the origin of this spice? Do you know what the name of this dish means, the culture, where it's from? You're bringing cultures together. You're combining contrasting styles and flavors. You're making your dining room a travel destination. And you don't have to go anywhere to do that. You look worldly. Worldly looks sexy when you cook for someone you love. I think it's obvious that cooking for someone you love is generous, right? You show that you're a generous person. And again, I'm not talking about picking up the $150 check at the restaurant on Valentine's Day. I don't mean dollars and cents generosity. Anybody can pick up a check. I mean the generosity of your time. I mean the generosity of your attention. When you give your time to someone else, it's very generous. Anybody can pick up a check. But when you make dinner, when you work on it for some time, then you've really given something to someone else. And just this discussion of how you cooked it, how you did it, what made you think of it, the steps that you took, the ingredients you used. This stuff can jumpstart a relationship. This stuff can bring people together on common terms that love good food and cooking. You're sexy when you're generous. Cooking can make you kind of mysterious as well. Follow me. Someone that's like figuring out the how cooking works is interesting, don't you think? I don't know, you find me interesting at all? It's a little mysterious too. Boy, how did he know how to make that sauce? How did she know which of those flavors go together? How did he know how to use that ingredient from another country, right? Where did they get the idea for this dish? And if that's what mysterious, then what other talents might they be hiding, right? You start to wonder. You create a curiosity about yourself, right? The mystery of what other skills you might be hiding can be really, really sexy. And lastly, when you cook for someone else, you can show off how skilled with your hands you are, right? Being good with your hands, getting flashy is really sexy. So when you cook together in the kitchen, this is what I want you to do. This is the point. If you cook together in the kitchen, if you're both in the kitchen, even if one of you is only in charge of pouring the wine, the other is showing off those knife skills. One of you is deglazing a pan. That's pretty hot. Maybe you know how to flambe for dessert. Light that thing on fire. Because each kitchen skill you show off might just make your partner wonder what else you could accomplish with those hands. All right? Am I blushing? A man who constantly demonstrates any of these sentiments maybe isn't able to put them into words, right? Maybe men aren't good with words. Maybe some men aren't good with poetic sentences, but they are good with cooking. And men don't like following recipes. right? I mean, have you ever known a man who wants to stop and ask for directions? No. So it's perfect for men to be cooking the meal for the one that they love. You don't need any directions. You can be really creative. You can take over. But this romantic meal together will mean more to women. I'm telling you, more to women than all the flowers, all the chocolates, all the greeting cards a man can gather. And it says so much more about the effort that you make. Now, women, let's admit it. No matter how old the boy gets, he still wants those feelings, those elements of comfort that he had when he was a boy, okay? Practicing my grade school psychology here. Women that cook for their loved ones demonstrate the kindness and the generosity that I've just described, right? Those memories going back into childhood that mom and grandma did for you. Women can be the leaders. You know, women are so often the providers. Women are so often the artists in the household. The artists, that use their cooking skills to create warmth, to create love in the household. It's a dramatic responsibility, and one that they do so generously, so freely. So this romantic meal together, created by a woman, since I'm putting it down the line, it means so much more than all the neckties, all the cologne, all the garage tool gifts that you can order online. It says more about you. If you, man or woman, male, female, regardless of the relationship or the partnership, if you cook for the person that you love, you get sexier in 7 ways that you weren't even aware of, perhaps. And look, I can't tell you what romantic food is to you. It doesn't matter what you cook. It doesn't always have to be lobster, for goodness sake, okay? It doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be complicated food. And what I mean by this is you don't have to jump 4 levels over where you're comfortable cooking just because it's Valentine's Day. This is a pitfall, as a matter of fact. If you've never cooked prime rib before, it's not the first time to start trying it. But get smart with this. If your first date was at a baseball game, all right, think about this. If your first date was at a baseball game, make hot dogs for dinner. Popcorn appetizer, right? This can be really romantic, just like a great restaurant. It's the mood, okay? We don't get to go to restaurants anymore, especially the fancy ones, the crowded, high-energy ones. So now it's up to you to create that mood. The environment, the atmosphere that comes along with a home-cooked meal on Valentine's Day. It's up to you to do that now. Let's see if there's any sexy cooking going on in our Carefree Cooks community yet. Let's see. Who's doing it? Oh, Nora. This was Nora. I thought this was really sexy. Nora made a creamy coconut and cashew karma. Nice. Good alliteration also. One of the best alliterations in a dish this week. Creamy coconut cashew karma. It's pretty sexy, right? Nice looking dish, Nora. Kathy jumped on the cream of broccoli soup bandwagon that is going like wildfire in our cooks community. She did the cream version with the roux. The other one was the gluten-free pureed version, but it's a sexy looking soup, don't you think? Right? Again, we made broccoli cheese soup the last 2 Saturdays during the casual cooking event. One was gluten-free, the other definitely wasn't. But again, you can go to facebook.com/chef.todd.more/videos to see all the past episodes. Who's next? Dan made a stuffed chicken cordon bleu. Nice. That's a sexy dish, don't you think? Brown, crispy on the outside, kind of cheesy on the inside, maybe like Dan. We don't know. A nice looking sauce too. Nicely done, Dan. Bob. Geez, Bob. Bob had a lunch adventure, he said, with sauteed pork chops smothered in a Merlot flavored onion and mushroom sauce. Serious. Balsamic vinegar and maple syrup reduction. Oh my goodness. That's pretty hot, Bob. That is a fork dropper for sure. And scallops and shellfish, I think, are inherently sexy. They come out. And George watched lesson number 2 in web cooking classes. He wrote, I just watched the second lesson, that's all, and he was able to duplicate the 9 steps in the basic saute method. He created his own Hawaiian scallops dish. Cool. Deglazing the pan with pineapple juice. Like I said, I think mollusks are sexy. Mollusks, clams, shrimps, things like that. Crustaceans also are sexy. Mollusks, crustaceans, they certainly don't sound sexy. They don't have sexy names, but think about it. Shrimp and lobster and crayfish and clams and oysters, right? Supposedly nature's Viagra. But I don't know. Scallops are one of the sexiest, I think. They're the sexiest mollusk, I would say. And all the lore of scallops being a aphrodisiac food, it all comes from, and actually a very famous painting, a Botticelli's, they call it Venus on the Half Shell. That's not exactly the name of it. But it is a scallop shell is the symbol of fertility, really. And it has to do with pilgrims way back when, St. James the Elder, and they made their pilgrimage. They got a portion of food in a scallop shell. Yeah. It's a story that I talk about in my Romancing the Kitchen course and DVD, which you're going to be hearing about with Valentine's Day coming. So it's that's all I got really to tell you about today. I want you to think about being in your kitchen, about sharing the generosity, sharing the problem solving, sharing the ingredients and the fun it is in being in your kitchen together this year. I think it's one of the most romantic things that we can do together. Let's get back to the what am I here. Since the topic is sexy food and cooking this week, I thought you would like to see the chemical structure of chocolate. Chemical structure of chocolate. I thought of that because when we took our dogs to the vet, there used to be a vet tech that had a jewelry of it. I thought it was really cool. Chocolate. This is the chemical structure of chocolate. Hey, if you know someone who would like to put a little bit more sexy into their cooking, please love, share this video with them. I mean, come on. Who doesn't want to get sexier? They'll appreciate it for sure. And as I asked before, do you think that aphrodisiac foods really exist? I mean, are there specific foods that really can turn you on? Well, if it's true, I definitely want to know. I would definitely want to know what these foods are, and I would also want to know how to put them into my cooking for Valentine's Day. And these are the answers I'm giving away in my free online web class. It's called Romancing the Kitchen: The Foods and Techniques to Create a Romantic Restaurant in Your Own Home. Find the class date and time that's right for you at webcookingclasses.com/dinner. So until next Tuesday at noon Eastern Time, this is Chef Todd Moore reminding you that there's a method to your romantic cooking success. Bye, everyone.